You're going to click settings, and then we're going to start by going to system, and we're going to go to our display. My display resolution is at 1920 1080. You're going to go to your display. It's going to give you the advanced display. You need to make sure that your actual refresh rate is the highest that you can set it at, right? So you make sure you set it on that. Once you do this, what's going to happen is that in Call of Duty, it's going to give you the option to set it at a higher refresh rate, right? If you haven't done this, you more than likely won't be able to. So make sure that this is set correctly. Now we're going to go back and we're going to go to graphics. Now, Call of Duty HQ, or I have both, Call of Duty Launcher and Call of Duty HQ, you need to make sure that this is under your graphics card, right? And that not only it's in there, but that you don't have it set to let Windows decide power saving. It always has to be under high performance, right? So once you do that, you save and you do the same for the other one if you have to as well showing up on your list, right? Okay. If you are on Windows 11 like I am, you need to make sure that any background apps that are running, right, that you don't even know about are set to never run. So we're going to go to gaming. And on Game Bar, if you're not using it to record or anything, right, make sure it's off. And that's all you got to do there. You're going to go to the game mode to optimize for your PC play. Make sure that game mode is on. Now we're going to go to your Windows Update. Important one, right? You got to make sure that every day that you log in or you turn on your PC before you play and you check for updates. There's been several updates in the past days, so just make sure it's up to date. You're good to go. Now we're going to open up your NVIDIA control panel. So if you don't have this set on your taskbar, just search it on the search bar and you will be able to pull it up. So we're going to start with the 3D settings here. You're going to under adjust image settings. I have mine set all the way to quality. If you're not really going to care about what the game is looking like, you're just interested on the FPS, depending on your machine as well, right? You can either go to performance or you leave it at balance, right? I am emphasizing quality, so that's what I have mine at. Now you're going to click on Manage 3D Settings, and here this is going to be pretty straightforward. Go ahead and pause the video as I scroll down, and that way you can just set everything as is, right? I'll go over some settings here in a minute. Here, the important things are, of course, you need to make sure that under CUDA GPUs, you have your graphics card selected, right? So once you have it selected, you press OK and you're good to go. So they did add a new setting on this. It's called the CUDA Sysmin fallback policy. Make sure you select prefer no Sysmin fallback, okay? Now, depending on what you're running, right, or what your machine can handle, what graphics card you're using, I have mine set on ultra, right? Because I know that my PC can handle it. If you are not sure, right, or you're running lower end PC, just have it on, right? So that is going to be completely up to you and knowing what you're running. And of course, OpenGL rendering GPU, make sure it's your graphics card. Power management mode, prefer maximum performance, right? So, all right, guys, now we're going to go to display. You're going to click adjust desktop color settings. So here, make sure that you don't have override checked and make sure that you are adjusting it for the monitor, right, that you're playing on or TV that you're playing on. So I left brightness and contrast to default. The gamma is plus 0.86. This is the gamma was something I adjusted while I was actually playing the game in a private match so that I could see what the colors were looking like and how I was changing. So I suggest you do that, including the digital vibrance. This is what's going to give you those rich colors in Modern Warfare 3. So mine was the sweet spot for me was 75%, right? You can go lower, you can stay on default, or you can go higher. It's going to really depend on you. While you have the game up, you can have this application up and you're able to kind of go adjust it to where the colors look really good for you, right? So I suggest doing this. One thing I will say, when you go all the way up in the digital vibrance, while the colors look super bright and beautiful, even more beautiful, right? What happens is that if you use thermos in the game, it's going to distort that, right? So you got to be careful with that stuff. So we're going to open up the GeForce Experience app. If you're an NVIDIA user, but if you're not, you're still going to have an app for your graphics card, depending on who you went through. The important part is to update your drivers, right? So the latest one that was released for NVIDIA was on the 4th of December, And this is specific for other games, right? But Call of Duty Warzone and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, right? So it's important because they added graphic updates to it to where you can boost your FPS to where you can hit up to 400 plus, right? Like I am, if you are using an RTX 40 series graphics card, right? So very important for you guys to update. Regardless, always update. So once you update this, you're good to go. We're going to get into the game settings themselves. So you're going to go to your settings tab and you're going to click graphics. Now, under the display, you are either, if for some reason, full screen exclusive is not showing up for me, and it's been doing this since yesterday. They probably have to do an update, something I messed up, doesn't matter. However, you can go with full screen borderless. It's still good. It's still gonna give you, it's not gonna change your FPS. So, and it works out if you have two monitors, right? So if you're running two monitors, you're already running full screen borderless. So it doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure if you have one monitor, or if you're stuck by the time this video hits TikTok, they're gonna have the full screen exclusive. So make sure you're using that if you have only one monitor. Make sure that you're using or you have selected the appropriate graphics card that you are using. The important parts here, we're gonna be looking at the display gamma. Make sure that if you're running on a monitor, you are running at 2.2 sRGB, not 2.4. That is if you're running on a TV. The brightness, make sure that you have it appropriate, right? I have mine at 50, that's fine. I could probably go a little bit lower, but 50 is okay. That's gonna also help with the colors in game. I do have my custom frame rate limit to unlimited, but you can change this to custom, right? To have the on the menu, for example, to have it at 80, right, or 50, whatever you want to do, right? So it doesn't really matter. I have mine unlimited and it's fine. High dynamic HDR is off. That will wash out the colors on the game even more, so don't have it on. And another thing to point out, if you're running a gaming monitor, you do not want to have HDR on, as it will not let you put your monitor on FPS mode. I'm not sure this is going to show. I'm clicking the settings on my monitor here. You want to, on your game visual, you need to make sure that it's on FPS mode, right? Again, if you have HDR on, you won't be able to do that. So make sure it's off. Now under quality here, it's on custom and my dynamic resolution is off. I am using Fidelity CAS. That is the sharpening technique for me that works best visual wise, right? There's a bunch of options. You can play around with it however you like. But for me, Fidelity CAS is the one that's working. And I do have it set at 85. Now, remember earlier I said that this is only going to work if you have an NVIDIA RTX 40 series card, right? Because of what they introduced with the graphics update. This is one of them. If you are running the RTX 40 series card, make sure you have this on, which is the path tracing, ray reconstruction. When you select more, you need to make sure you have it on ultra performance. Everything else, feel free to copy it while you're seeing on screen. Now the final setting here in terms of colors, and again, making the game look even more richer, right? Combined with your PC settings under the NVIDIA control panel and the game itself, you're going to click interface and you're going to select color customization. You can set these colors however you want in terms of the color palette. The important part here is going to be the color filter settings, right? You want to make sure that it's on filter 2 and that it's affecting both. I have the world and the interface color intensity both to 100. Okay, so here I'm showing you guys, I mean, it's varying between 350, 392, and then going all the way up to 412 FPS. Alright guys, so just showing you guys here, it's steady staying at, it's not dropping to 200, nowhere near. If anything, it's staying high 300s and going all the way up to 400, right? So second day trying it out for you guys, and still the same, right? It's still showing the same FPS pretty much. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and more importantly that it helps you guys. Alright guys, see you later. Bye.